I don't know, guys. There's a lot of big questions. Like, for example, what's more simple, what's more likely, that the entire universe is a base level of consciousness, of subjectivity, of I am, or that given enough space-time, matter will not only create hyper-advanced hardware, but background matter will just write the most elegant code possible, which is making inanimate objects sentient. Now, wow. Any computer programmers out there could help me out and say, how would you even begin to write a program to make inanimate atoms suddenly become self-aware? Messing with my brain. Any statisticians find me the odds of there being a planet where life can not only evolve, but evolve into existentially thinking, sentient, conscious beings? And on top of that, there then being a moon, our only satellite, being the exact same size, to like millionths of a percent, the exact same size as the sun in the sky, giving us perfect solar eclipses. What are the chances of that in the 200,000 year period of modern humans, us having a perfect fit for the sun and the moon in the sky? The odds of there being life on any planet are so tiny. And then you add this cosmic coincidence on top of it. Let's go with particles are bouncing around, or potentialities are bouncing around, or superstrings are bouncing around, and the Big Bang is just an excitation of a conceptual potentiality field in the background. Okay, fair enough. Like, is there anything in evolutionary biology, evolutionary psychology, just looking at evolution, natural selection, that would select for a hyper-powerful brain that is able to get so neurotic that it can either choose to not have children or kill itself? How did evolution choose or select for a mind that can kill itself or not have children by choice? I just don't get it. How did that evolve? Before we get too woo-woo, before we get too spiritual, we need to really kind of define what we mean by God. Do you mean the Abrahamic personal God, father of the G's, up there in the sky, knowing every single deed, judging, using his right-hand man, old Satan, to decide whether you go to heaven or hell or whatever, yeah? There's that one. Or there's the more Eastern tradition, Eastern philosophy, Buddhist, the great I Am, a kind of impersonal, natural God, maybe even Baruch Spinoza. One of my favorite Jews from history. He got expelled from Judaism. Very naughty boy, a bit like the Rabbi Yeshua getting expelled from Judaism. But they didn't kill Baruch. He was in Amsterdam. They let him carry on. But he believes in this impersonal, natural, all that there is, a panpsychic God that is there and is maybe all-powerful, all-knowing. And then there's a third God, which is the God of Alex Jones, when he went on the Joe Rogan show and he said, "That's really good tobacco there, Joe. I believe, because I'm retarded," he says, "that God knows everything except why he exists." So there's three gods there. There's Buddha God, there's Abraham God, and then there's, like, I guess, Neo God without full knowledge God. Not omniscient God. So what do people even mean? Oh, do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? Are you a believer? Oh, you a believer? Oh, you're a Christian. Oh, but you're in the wrong sect. What do people even mean? Are we having any sort of advanced, profound communication with one another, or are we just dumb beasts grunting at one another, hoping that the other animal can understand the particular bleat or bark or groan or grunt? I don't know. You can take a very big statement that Sam Harris came out with. God bless poor Sam Harris. He's in a world of shit. He spoke too openly. He was with my mortal enemies at trigonometry. I'll forgive them one day for inviting me on the show and then reneging on it. Anyway, he thought he was amongst friends, and he said some funny things about he'd rather have the Bidens with dead children in the basement than electing Trump. And it was a strange thing to say, but we're not talking politics. Right now, I don't care. Trump or Biden, I don't care. But Sam Harris said, free will isn't even wrong. It's not even an illusion. It's people thinking that you have free will. That idea itself is bullshit. And I've pondered as to what the Harris is trying to say, what our young man Samuel Harris is trying to tell us. I think he's trying to say that we are automatons, we are cyborgs built through natural selection and evolution, and that the projection of free will or sentience is merely that, a projection onto the back of Plato's cave that serves some evolutionary advantage to get mates or food or shelter or whatever evolution, whatever Richard Dawkins, the selfish gene, wants to do, probably procreate, and yeah, that's it. So Sam Harris's idea as well is another one. It's like, whoa. And then after dropping this bombshell, after dropping that giant turd into your gin and tonic, he goes, oh, don't worry about it. You can still live a very fulfilling, happy life full of morals and family and good stuff. But can you? If you honestly believe that you don't even exist, that everything you say or do is a pre-calculated mathematical quantum... Okay, rewind. There's a mathematical equation playing out, and that your choices and your life, your rich internal, qualia-full subjective life, is just a movie playing in your head that you're associating with, I think he's wrong. I think the Harris is wrong, because you still need to have a subjectivity watching the movie. Or could one of my smarter viewers explain to me what Sam Harris really means? Does he mean there is no separation between subjectivity and objectivity? It's one holistic machine that's playing out, and by absolute chance, evolution's given us an ability to be subjective? What the fuck is he on about? Then you've got the ideas of the Brazilian Danish man, Bernardo Kastrup. Fantastic philosopher, scientist, writer, with a very coherent ability to explain his position. But he now talks about a kind of an instinctive background subjectivity that, is it panpsychism light? That he says there's a subjective I amness to the entire universe, but it's not fully, it's not in the forefront consciousness. It's not going, oh, today I'm going to invent a platypus or something. That'll mess up with natural selection believers. No, he says it's more of an instinctive background consciousness, the same way that we instinctively breathe, the same way that we instinctively beat our hearts and circulate blood. And I listened to one of his talks. He gives an analogy that science can predict the behavior of alligators very, very accurately. There's like a threshold from their vision that if an item is within 1.3 meters of the alligator's face, it'll snap at it. But then if it's 1.31 meters away from its face, it won't snap. And they say it's so accurate. It's like a force field of vision around that alligator that if you're within it, it'll snap and bite you. And if you're just outside it, it can't even comprehend what to do, because it's an instinctive consciousness. And now it just raises even more worries about computers. And are they instinctively conscious? I don't think so. But Bernardo, where are we? What are we doing? Is it contradictory? Or are your theories totally watertight, like a duck's anus? Don't know. Nobody has life figured out. It's that eternal mystery. The other day I was like, right, that's it. I believe I'm software. There is no God. There's no love. It's all chemicals. It's all, and then I went, right, okay, so the universe is made of conceptual potentialities. It's all potential. And you're like, oh, is it mind or matter? It's neither. It's not mind or matter. There's no Cartesian dualism here. There's no hard problem of consciousness here. It's just potential. It's potential to be mind, potential to be matter. Superstrings, if you like that theory, that kind of alludes to it quite nicely. Superstrings is it's about excitations. But of what? We maybe don't have the right name for it. It's obviously something which gives rise to what we call matter, but also to what we call ideas. I used to think a few days ago I was software. I actually thought I was software. Not the hardware, but the software. Am I going mad? Or is this what philosophy is? It's going crazy very slowly over a period of 3 decades.